So here we go. Let's tackle this question here. And immediately we want to read that question sentence, seeing as it says, how many boxes can fit in the unit by volume? All right, everybody. So before we even get into all of this, into the actual information, when we're asking how many of one amount can fit into another amount, my party people, what operation are we dealing with? Like, if I'm trying to think of, hey, how many $5 bills can fit into a 20? That's division, right? Yeah, that's absolutely 100% division. So when we're asking, hey, how many of these boxes over here can fit into this unit, that's division. And the hint, the big, huge hint that we're given here is dividing those volumes. So that's what I'm going to do. My answer to see how many fit is going to be the volume of the unit divided by the volume of the box. That's really how we're going to do this. Again, when we divide, we're going to see how many of one fits into the other. In this case, how many boxes will fit into the unit. So you have that total volume for the unit, total volume for each box, and when you divide, you'll see how many can fit. Just like that. So when we take a look at the information, we see that it says the storage units are 15 feet long, 12 feet wide, and 8 feet tall. So what that tells me is that this is a rectangular prism. So here's what we have. My volume, let me write this a little neater, right there. So my volume for my storage unit, I'll just go ahead and highlight that in blue. And when we do that, we'll have 15 feet multiplied by 12 feet multiplied by 8 feet. If we wanted to, we could absolutely just multiply these first straight up. But one thing you're going to see is that that's going to take a lot of time that we really don't need to spend. So hold that thought right here. Now let's go over to the volume of each individual box. So to capture that, I'll simply go ahead and use red. So to capture that, I'll come back over here and I see that it says the box measures 3 feet long, 24 inches wide, and 2 feet tall. Let me show you what the problem is with that right over here. I'm going to write everything down again. 3 feet long, 24 inches wide, and then 2 feet tall again. Everyone, do we see the elephant in the room? Do we see the massive problem? I hope we do. Notice how we have feet, feet, and feet. Perfect. Then we have feet, inches, and feet. That's a big problem. If we are going to be dividing these volumes, we have got to be dividing the same unit. And so we don't want to convert everything into inches. We want to convert the 24 inches into feet. That's what we are going to do because that's the easiest way to proceed. Everyone, we have 12 inches in every foot. So are we going to multiply or divide to convert inches into the bigger unit feet? Yeah, we're going to divide. So when we divide by 12, 24 inches, that's 2 feet, everybody. That is 2 feet. So that's why I'll replace the 24 inches right here with 2 feet. And now we are done for sure. So everyone, remember earlier how I said if we wanted to, we could absolutely calculate this up top and then this on bottom? Sure, again, you absolutely could. But if you're doing even with mental math, that's going to be tough. So here's what I would rather do. Everyone, what's that S word? That word that starts with an S that we can do when we're dealing with fractions. Yeah, we can simplify. We can absolutely simplify. And look at the easier time that this gives us. Check it out. So everyone, look, if I do 3 times 2 times 2, what is that going to be? Well, 3 times 2, that's going to be 6. 6 times 2, that gives us 12. So what this actually is, everybody, let me just copy and paste this over. This is actually going to be everything on top divided by 12. And oh, look at this. This can cancel out right there. So to find out the number of boxes that fit is actually going to fall down to a very simple calculus. 15 multiplied by 8. We actually don't need to do this crazy part right there all in one. Nah, if you just simplify, you reduce it to something much more manageable in 15 multiplied by 8, which ends up being 120. 5 times 8 is 40, carry the 4. Then 1 times 8, 8 plus 4, and that gives you 12, which overall makes 120 boxes that are going to fit into the unit. And that's why the correct answer here, everyone, is answer choice C, 120 boxes. Everybody, first things first, tell me here, what is it that we're looking for at the end of the day? What are we looking for in this problem? Yeah, we're trying to find how many inches we have. Sounds good right here. First thing we always want to do in a word problem, my party people, is we want to read that question. Not the information. Nah, I don't care about all that. I just want to read the question sentence so that I don't overwhelm myself. So how many inches? Okay, cool. So whatever I have, I'm trying to get to a certain number of inches. Everybody, what amount do they give us, and include the unit with it in the chat box? We are given, we're given 6.5 feet. A plank is 6.5 feet long. Perfect. So we have 6.5 feet equals how many inches? Now, pop quiz, what is the unit conversion between feet and inches? What is that going to be? Write that out in the chat box. Say it out loud in your head. Yeah, 1 foot is 12 inches. That's right. We're going to write that down over here. 1 foot equals 12 inches. All right, everybody, tell me, are we going to be multiplying or dividing here? Are we going to multiply or divide to get to that answer? Yeah, we're going to multiply. Again, based on the rule that I just gave you here in your notes, we are trying to get to the inches right over here. So I'm trying to get to the inches. So what did I say? If you start on the unit with the 1 on it and you're trying to get to the other one, that is multiplication. And you're going to multiply by that number right there. That's 12. And that's it. That is it. If you're starting from the unit with the 1 to get to the other one, you multiply. If you're trying to get to the unit with the 1, you divide. That is as simple as we can make it. Let's go ahead and get it done. We have 12 multiplied by 6.5. And at this point, I know for sure some folks are going to be a little nervous about that decimal. But remember, when you multiply by decimals, just go ahead and ignore the decimal. We're going to bring it back at the end. All right, bring that decimal back. So bring it back at the end. So let's tackle this and let's move forward with a grin on our face. So here we go. Let's ignore that decimal. 12 multiplied by 5, or we're starting with 2 times 5. That'll end up being 10. Carry the 1. And then we have 1 times 5. That's going to be 5. Carry the 1 is 6. Now we'll move forward to that next place value right here with the 6. So here we go. 2 times 6, that's going to be 12. And we'll carry that 1. And then we have 1 times 6 is 6. Carry the 1 is 7. Drop that right there. Add everything all up together, and we get 0, 8, and 7. Everybody, how many decimal places are we bringing back? Yep, just 1. So we check up here first. Nope, no decimals there to bring. And then we check over here, and we just have 1 decimal to bring back over. 1 moved over, and that is going to be 78 inches. And that is our solution here. The answer is going to be A, 78 inches.